tonight. ICE agents fatally shoot a woman during an immigration crackdown in Minneapolis. U.S. states say they're feeling the impact as fewer people from Saskatchewan travel south. And this pitcher from Bigger is getting a shot at playing Major League Baseball.
This is CBC Saskatchewan News.
It is Wednesday, January 7th, and the CBC Saskatchewan News starts right now. I'm Ethan Williams. Thank you for joining us. There is anger in Minneapolis after a woman was shot and killed by an ICE agent. The Department of Homeland Security says the woman was committing an act of domestic terrorism, but the mayor of Minneapolis blasted that characterization as, quote, garbage. Katie Nicholson has the latest from Washington and a warning. Some of you may find the images in this story disturbing.
Minneapolis and St. Paul are on high alert tonight after an ICE agent shot and killed a 37-year-old woman in Minneapolis. This is one of the videos circulating that has been verified by CBC News. A woman in an SUV is parked in the middle of the street, apparently blocking the road. ICE agents stop their vehicle and walk towards her. One officer grabs the handle. She puts the vehicle in reverse briefly, then pulls forward before another agent fired 3 shots into the vehicle. Homeland Security had just sent 2,000 more agents into Minnesota following a December surge in the state. The Secretary of Homeland Security, Kristi Noem, was quick to defend the actions of her agents.
It was an act of domestic terrorism. A woman attacked them and those surrounding them and attempted to run them over and ram them with her vehicle. An officer of ours acted quickly and defensively shot to protect himself and the people around him.
U.S. President Donald Trump posted a video that appeared to be a different angle of the incident and wrote in part, "The woman driving the car was very disorderly, obstructing and resisting, who then violently, willfully and viciously ran over the ICE officer, who seems to have shot her in self-defense." Based on the attached clip, it's hard to believe he is alive but is now recovering in the hospital. The mayor of Minneapolis, Jacob Fry, said he saw a video of the incident and said that Homeland Security's version of what happened was BS. And he had this message for ICE.
To ICE, get out of Minneapolis. We do not want you here. Your stated reason for being in this city is to create some kind of safety, and you are doing exactly the opposite.
Governor Tim Walz activated the Emergency Operations Center and issued a warning order to prepare the Minnesota National Guard.
And from here on, I have a very simple message. We do not need any further help from the federal government. To Donald Trump and Kristi Noem, you've done enough.
Walz told Minnesotans, "I feel your anger," but appealed for calm, saying they want a show, but, quote, "we can't give it to them." The shooting's being investigated by the FBI and the Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension. That agency will be looking into whether or not any state laws were broken. Katie Nicholson, CBC News, Washington.
After nearly a year of Canadians avoiding travel to the U.S., states that border Saskatchewan say they've noticed our absence. They're hoping 2026 will bring more Canadians, but not everyone is willing to go south. Katie Swires has that story.
Minot, North Dakota has long been a popular destination for Saskatchewan residents. But in 2025, they saw a steep decline in Canadian visitors. Data from the U.S. Customs and Border Protection shows significantly fewer Canadians have traveled from Saskatchewan to the States, down almost 500,000 visitors since 2023.
We would go maybe once a year to North Dakota, and my daughter went to school in Minot, so yeah. So we did in the past, but would I go now? No.
And Minot's tourism board says it's feeling the drop.
It's roughly about 20% down for the whole year. Canadians have been an important part of the Minot economy for a long time. And there's a long relationship of that, right? It's decades, right? Since we're so close to the border, we get a ton of people coming across, or we have historically.
In Montana, communities are seeing a similar drop.
Currently to date, we're down almost 16%. There are other destinations within Montana that I know are down more than 20%.
but many say they have no intention of going anytime soon.
Seeing how it is now and how, the anti-immigration policies and everything that's going on, basically, it's more discouraging to go. So if I had a choice, I would not go. I would rather stay.
In the meantime, many in the States are hoping 2026 will bring a friendlier relationship with Canada. Katie Swires, CBC News, Regina.
A Saskatoon woman who had to get a brain tumor removed out of province wants the government to cover medical travel costs for everyone. Tammy O'Brien needed gamma knife radiosurgery to remove a rare benign tumor in November. The procedure isn't offered in Saskatchewan, so the province paid for her to get it done in Alberta. O'Brien is on a fixed income and asked the health ministry to cover her $854 travel and hotel bill. She says she was instead given a list of charities to call for financial help.
I've raised 2 kids by myself, put myself at the university, and have worked all my adult life, so it was humiliating. And then at the end of the call, she said, or you could try crowdfunding. And I was shocked. I felt dismissed and degraded.
The NDP wants the province to apologize to O'Brien and pay up. In an emailed statement, the health ministry says it paid for O'Brien's procedure but does not reimburse patients for travel-related costs. Saskatoon's former Pleasant Hill School is expected to open again this fall, but this time the nearly 100-year-old building will house a health and wellness center. Attack-a-Coop Cree Nation is overseeing the transformation of the former school site. The wellness center will feature a state-of-the-art MRI machine. The First Nation says the venture is important in that community.
Let's face it, the majority of the people are First Nation, all right? And so, with our community and our band going in there and, making sure that we're leading by example in the city of Saskatoon and making sure that we're helping, right? Not just First Nations, but everyone in Saskatchewan and Saskatoon.
The province is also building Saskatoon's first urgent care center next to the school building. Construction is expected to be completed on that in the fall, but it won't open until early 2027. Attack-a-Coop is also building a 150-vehicle parkade next to the school. What started as a wellness check turned into a large-scale cat rescue in Wyard. Dozens of cats are safe now, but as Aishwarya Duda shows us, it wasn't an easy mission.
Barely moving when first responders found them last week. Dozens of cats living in hazardous conditions. They've now been rescued from this hoarding home in Wyard, Saskatchewan. It started with a wellness check at the home where officers found a dead body. Another person was removed and connected to health services, according to RCMP. They say there's no indication of criminal activity. Volunteers removed at least 35 cats and believe there could be more.
Often when things have gotten to this point, there have been so many points along the way where people have maybe reached out for help or others have reached out for help on their behalf, and that help hasn't come for whatever reason.
Since the rescue, some of the cats are now showing signs of recovery. They went from hiding away to making eye contact, rolling on their backs and seeking affection.
When the animals start trusting and turning the corner and realizing they're safe, even with the fosters I brought into my own home, that started last night, and they're rolling and wanting affection, and it's such a turnaround from the shutdown state that they were in when we removed them to just realizing, oh hey, I'm safe, I'm clean, like things are going to get better now.
Before being placed in foster homes, the cats are being quarantined and medically assessed. They're kept in quiet rooms, given time to eat, rest, and recover from the trauma and their injuries.
The people are failed first, and we then see that in the animals. And so when animals are suffering in our communities, the people are suffering. And it's often like in these situations, silently, people don't know what to do. They're ignored until they reach these terrible conditions, and we need to do more as a society to make sure it does not get to this point.
Rescue groups say they urgently need foster homes, food, and donations. They say situations like these are becoming more common, and while demand rises, resources remain limited. Aishwarya Duda, CBC News, Saskatoon.
The 2025 Regina CrimeStoppers numbers are in, and it is clear anonymously reporting crime is paying off. CrimeStoppers is reporting its highest payout in recent history. Over $12,000 in rewards were paid to tipsters in 2025 on just over 900 tips. There has been an increase in tips as the years have gone by, and Regina's police chief says the program is focused on keeping communities safe. We'll call this a good sign for the Milano Cortina Winter Olympics. All smiles during the torch relay in northern Italy, despite, or maybe because of, the heavy snowfall. The torch made its way Tuesday to the city of Bologna in messy weather that could match parts of Canada. It now heads eastward with less than 30 days until it reaches Milan. No snow for many of us, though, in Saskatchewan. Mickey Wolf has our forecast when we come back. Welcome back. Garrett Hawkins is living a dream not many from this province get to experience. The pitcher from Bigger is headed to Arizona to participate in spring training with a Major League Baseball team. Scott Larson has that story.
This 25-year-old pitcher from Bigger, Saskatchewan is on the cusp of making it to the big leagues. Garrett Hawkins is working out here in Saskatoon over the winter, getting ready for the San Diego Padres training camp in February.
For me, it's definitely what everyone kind of works towards, and just know you're kind of one step closer to making it. So yeah, definitely means a lot.
It's been a roller coaster ride for the 6'5" pitcher. He was drafted by the Padres in 2021, but the pandemic virtually stopped all games at the University of British Columbia where he played. Then he had to undergo Tommy John surgery on his elbow in 2023. Hawkins spent the next year rehabbing at the Padres facility in Arizona.
The group of guys there was really good. Kind of everyone's there for the same purpose. Everyone's just trying to get healthy. There's no kind of focus on competing or playing in any games during that time, but still tough. You know, you're not out playing, which is kind of what you're there to do.
Swing and a miss, and that's your ball game.
Hawkins returned to the mound this past season with a reconstructed arm and had a phenomenal year. He switched from being a starter to a reliever and at one point went 38 innings without allowing a run. It doesn't surprise the owner of this baseball training program.
He's very focused on his craft. Like, he fully understands like every aspect of pitching, and his ability to hone in on like small details and make minor changes that don't affect the rest of his flow and his rhythm. I think that's what sets him apart.
The Padres named Hawkins its minor league pitcher of the year and added him to its 40-man roster, which gives him an automatic invite to spring training camp in February. He says the move to the bullpen taught him not to overthink before entering a game.
I think even starting, like, I would build myself up so much that I would, I don't know, get antsy or feel too excited. Yeah, this year I've definitely learned just don't think and just trust yourself.
Now he's preparing to take it to the next level at spring training camp in Arizona, where he'll face big league hitters. It's a huge step, but he keeps reminding himself it's the same game and the same 90 feet between home plate and the pitcher's mound. Scott Larson, CBC News, Saskatoon.
Best of luck to Garrett, and extra points if you happen to be a San Diego Padres fan. Weather specialist Mickey Wolf joining us now. Seems like it's going to be obviously warmer down in Arizona, but you know, not too bad out there today. I was able to at least take the mitts off when I went out for lunch.
You know, Ethan, it might be even warm enough for a little bit of baseball for the very brave in the coming days. It's looking like a warm January across Saskatchewan, and that is set to continue. But let's take a look at a little visitor in the snow here. We've got a photo from a viewer, Susan J. McDonald, Dr. Susan J. McDonald, with some furry friends here. You wouldn't know that snowy picture was taken with some of these temperatures we're seeing here across the province, we've got above zero for a lot of the south today. Definitely a warmer one for a lot of the south part of the province, folks. And in the central region, not too shabby either, considering we are in early January. Quite warm weather, and we're seeing some flurries overhead as we look at our radar right now, just our skies looking a little bit snowy, but things are going to look pretty clear for the next few days, at least for south and central Saskatchewan. We are seeing a good amount of sunny breaks as we get into tomorrow, and potentially a little bit of flurries early Friday, then clearer skies, and then by the time we get into Saturday morning, we may see a little bit of a visit from some snow, but the numbers aren't looking too drastic so far. We're looking at potentially some minimal snow as we get into Friday afternoon, and then by Saturday, just up to 5 centimeters for the central region for Humboldt and Hudson Bay. But in the south, things are looking relatively snow-free so far. In the north as well, we're seeing a little bit more of a gradual snowfall. And then by Saturday, we may see up to 7 centimeters for La Ronge. But overall, all things considered, not too much snow for us ahead this week in Saskatchewan. And then our winds, I just wanted to take a look here. We've got a little bit of gusting for Friday afternoon. It's going to make things feel a little bit chillier throughout that afternoon for folks there in the south. But overall, things are warming up. We will see some cold overnight temperatures as we get into Friday evening, overnight into Saturday, but then things will warm right back up for our Saturday daytime highs. For Regina, again, we are looking at a warmer Sunday and Monday, so that later in the day warm up happening there. On Tuesday, we might see a little bit of mixed rain and snow because we're sitting above zero so far for Regina by Tuesday. Definitely warmer than our normal temperatures for this time of year right now. And say for Saskatoon, we're sitting relatively at our sort of normal temperature for January 7th and 8th right now. But then as we get into Sunday and Monday, things really warm up, and we are trending quite a bit warmer for the next few days ahead of us. So Ethan, maybe it's time to dust off the mitts, baseball mitts, or at least put our wintry mitts in our pockets.
Well, yeah, one of those mitts is definitely going to make an appearance. We'll see which one is which. Mickey, thank you so much.
Thank you.
The city of Los Angeles is marking 1 year since the outbreak of historic wildfires. They burned for 3 weeks, killing 31 people and destroying homes in the thousands. Steve Futterman reports on the rebuilding and the remembering.
Here in this heavily damaged area of Pacific Palisades, you see the lot behind me. Basically, nothing's been done in the past year. But take a look at the lot behind me now. Well, that home is more than 25% complete, and you see these different stages of rebuilding on all the streets here. Some homes, the frame is up, and in some cases, homes are nearing completion.
I'm very hopeful, and I have a lot of friends who are building back. We're all hopeful that that most of our friends will come back, because none of us want to be here alone.
Now, as you might expect, there's lots of construction taking place up and down these streets. We have seen the trucks going up and down the streets, the large trucks carrying lumber, some cement mixers. We spoke to one general contractor. His brother lost a home here. He's now working on rebuilding around 5 homes.
Mood is build, go. It is going to be a long process, but there's a lot of work going on up here, and it's actually kind of nice to see.
Now, last night, a special service took place at the nearby Brentwood Presbyterian Church to mark this 1-year anniversary. We spoke to some of those who showed up.
I thought it's nice the day before the anniversary to just take a breath and be in a quiet space with people and just reflect on the year we've been through and support each other. And it's hard not to have our church.
There are still many, many people unable to rebuild. They don't have enough money. They haven't received enough compensation from their insurance companies. And a year later, there's still lots of finger pointing. Take a look at this sign here. You see the names of California Governor Gavin Newsom and LA Mayor Karen Bass. And there are many lawsuits that have been filed. The legal battles resulting from this fire will go on for years. Steve Futterman, CBC News, Los Angeles.
Crews in Saskatoon have begun the long task of removing snow from city streets. This, of course, is the process where the snow is actually taken off to storage facilities. The work is expected to take about 2 months, but of course it could be a little bit longer if there's another snowstorm or significant snowfall. You're asked to look out for those blue and amber flashing lights on snow removal vehicles, and of course, give them some space as well. Stay with us. We're back after the break. Well, now that the holiday season is over, you are likely putting away the decorations and maybe even dealing with Christmas plants. Many people have poinsettias, but don't forget about your Christmas cactus. Jackie Bantle from the University of Saskatchewan says with the right care, they can live for years.
So the Christmas cactus, again, it's based on, the flowering is based on day length. And so there are actually 3 different types of, well, quote unquote, Christmas cactuses. So there's a Christmas cactus, excuse me, a Thanksgiving cactus, and an Easter cactus. And so the Christmas and Thanksgiving cactus, the Thanksgiving cactus is based on the American Thanksgiving. So it will bloom, it needs, again, those short days of more than 12 hours of darkness. And the Thanksgiving cactus will bloom between 4 to 6 weeks, usually about 4 weeks after it starts getting short days. So just like naturally here, it would bloom at Thanksgiving. American Thanksgiving. And then the Christmas cactus needs about 6 weeks. And so again, if you're just, if we're just following our regular day lengths, it'll bloom around Christmas. And then the Easter cactus needs 8 to 12 weeks of darkness. So if you ever want to get them to bloom off season, you can do the trick and again, put them in the closet and give them a dark period for more than 12 hours a day, and you could get them to bloom. But they bloom on their own.
Who would have thought, Mickey, that you need darkness in order to get certain plants to bloom?
I had no idea, Ethan. This was very informative. I could listen to her for 12 hours. And overnight is a good time to let those cactuses bloom. And let's take a look at our overnight temperatures across Saskatchewan tonight. It's going to be a dark night, being January, so good time for cacti. We've got those relatively warmer temperatures in the south, and the central region is looking a bit cooler, especially with wind chill tonight down to near -27. Same with the far north with those values right there. Those are our true values, but with wind chill, we're looking a little bit closer to -31. Things will warm up a bit though, especially in the Churchill region. Tomorrow we're going to see those daytime highs near -10, and in the south and central regions as well, we are seeing a warm up and sunny skies overall with those temperatures getting closer to 0. So a warm day to look forward to tomorrow, Ethan.
Sunshine, so keep the cacti out of there.
Keep them out.
Okay, thanks, Mickey.
Thank you.
And that is our news for this Wednesday. For News Anytime, you can always head to our website or the CBC Saskatchewan YouTube channel or download the CBC News app. Thanks so much for watching.